almost everything that you see around you is a product of education. You know, the fact that we sit here in this room, the technology around us, the social environment. But what's going to make you human in a world in which the kind of things that are easy to teach and easy to test have become easy to automate?
Once upon a time, the prevailing image for education was the tabula rasa, or the empty vessel. We knew what they needed to know, and we just got it off our desk onto their desks. That doesn't work anymore. And I'd like you, therefore, to have that image of what does it look like in a global educational world if we're going to make these kind of changes. The word joy. Pupils must be allowed to use their creative energy throughout their entire schooling. It's going to happen.
There is a fear that I won't do it right the first time. And so much of our work focuses on unlocking folks' creative abilities, reminding them that they are creative people. And so what we spend a lot of time doing is actually immersing people in a creative act.
当今世界，教育对于任何一个国家的发展而言，都具有特殊的战略意义。在中国，教育是国之大计，民生之基。中国政府始终高度重视教育工作，把教育摆在优先发展的战略地位。
We are going to delve into a little bit of what is the status of creativity.
We have to put more emphasis on nurturing foundational literacies, creativity, curiosity, capacity for critical thinking from early ages. And also learning to live together with others as well as with the nature, and the critical importance of teachers.
And in convergent synthesis, we focus essentially that how many of the things we gave did you put together? Did you transform their nature so you showed flexible thinking? Is your synthesis somewhat original statistically that other people didn't do it much?
There is sometimes a tendency to talk down the younger generation, so it's snowflakes or the COVID generation, Generation Z, but actually I think they're an amazing generation coming through. If you think about the climate protests, campaigns against all kinds of incredibly innovative, creative, entrepreneurial education systems around the world need to harness that power that is already there in the young people better.
Oh, I find it very exciting. We had, starting with why creativity is so important for the economy and, as a future skills, and then addressing some of the challenges of integrating it in pedagogy. COVID has shown how important creativity is, that's really, we had to cope with a very different situation than usual.
I think the most important is to have in mind that students need some space and some liberty when they learn.
It's like a volcano that has to rupture into a change of thinking.
As you can see, if you've got to the agenda, there's a real feast before you. There are lots of movements, and we feel that many of them are colliding in a very exciting way to focus on the importance of creative thinking in schools. Very small children can talk very thoughtfully and reflectively about what they're doing. It kind of goes under the ground in primary, becomes invisible in secondary, and if you're lucky in a college or university, it resurfaces, and you think, what the heck are we doing?
But this project came about because our director of film was concerned about some of the mental well-being of the kids as a result of all the disturbance that the kids had had to their education. And so he said, well, should we do a film? We are nervous about exam results, as I think everyone is, because we get our parents buying up to us because their kids are going to get qualifications that are going to get them to university. That's kind of the mindset of the parent. We are beginning to think, what can we do and how can we change things so that creativity becomes the access route to getting the grades that the parents are wanting their kids to get.
Trying out something creatively with no pressures to get it right or wrong. Nobody's watching you. You just try something out and see how it goes.
So it's very interesting to be able to present this work that is going on in Shanghai in China in the Creative Lab. It's a pioneering project to teach creatively.
It was a very important part of the Asian trade route. The aim of the course is really to offer an interdisciplinary structure of different subjects.
Embodiment-based learning is more emphasized for developing interdisciplinary curricula.
We've been talking a lot about creativity, but the whole thing about creativity is like it makes you feel good. It makes you proud of what you created. They are practices that we have to cultivate, that we have to inculcate into our DNA, and they're part of our daily life.
You know, this making with the power of materials matter. The doing and being a mathematician is more than just what's going on up here. You're working with the materiality of mathematics.
All of these pieces come together, we would argue, through creativity, collaboration, communication and critical reflection. They lay the basis.
It's been a really inspiring 2 days at the World Summit here. I've learned so much. Some really interesting learning on subject knowledge, but also going beyond that knowledge and generating new knowledge in co-authorship.
I have found it incredibly interesting and stimulating today. Lots of very good examples being given, real-life students achieving great things.
I find it really fascinating as somebody who works in education for over 3 decades now.
The biggest message, 2 messages that I'm taking away are that creativity brings enjoyment and engagement, and that second of all, you can't really achieve that deep learning the government is pushing for without creativity.
A lot more newly trained teachers are coming in with a lot more of these attitudes that it's okay to try and not succeed, let's try and try again.
So the Chinese Creative Lab they're 2 really nice, clear examples of project-based learning with clear creativity embedded, which was really interesting to see.
I thought what was really interesting about those was all the case studies were from subjects like physics, engineering, and very more kind of, they would seem to be subjects that would be very set in certain kind of thought processes. They were really showing subjects that I think a lot of people wouldn't link creativity to.
So next year, when we hold our annual event, there will be hundreds of people here. We started small in Paris and in London. Next year, we'll open invitations to more of our friends in more countries across the world, more head teachers, and more researchers and policymakers who we need to have with us in the room. I want officials who are creating curricula who can see that this is really good news.